Okay, so, oops. Good morning, everybody. So it's 2 days after I made my last video, and look what came. So I've got a full pallet and a half of Quikrete, and that's going to be for the patio. And then I've got all of these bags, which are 1 ton a bag of rocks, that is going to go on my path. And it's probably way too much, but I have other projects in the works. And then I have this huge pile of mushroom mulch that is actually 10 yards that I'm going to use in my garden beds. So today is about 85 degrees already, and it's 10 a.m. in the morning. And we're going to start by moving the Quikrete first over to the area where the patio is going to go, and then if we still have any energy left, we'll move some of these rocks. But that's what's going on. My husband's going to help me today. Woohoo! And I think my son's going to help too, but he hasn't come out yet. He's hiding. Anyways, I'll update you in a moment. So we've started using the stamp to make patio, and you kind of just put it in as close to the border as you can. And actually, because once these dry, they're all individual. If you need to fill in with any of these rocks, you can actually lift them up and put them in spots where you would need them. How much progress we've already made, and there's a couple things that I wanted to go over. One is, you saw in the video I was using gloves. I think it's a really good way to go. Most people, when they work with concrete, they just use the trellises, but I find that if I'm gloved, using my hands is a lot more faster, and I'm able to get the concrete into the edges and down into the corners a lot easier. And the gloves are pretty effective. They don't cost much, and it really does protect my hands. Also, when you use this Quikrete form, it does make individual rocks, so you can actually pick these up, but you have to wait about 24 hours before they're cured. And you can actually move them to where you need them if you need to fill in any areas that are kind of too small to use the whole form. So these over here, if you're wondering, those are going to be moved to areas that need rocks, like going around that sprinkler and over there in that little corner there. So also now I'm going to go ahead and show you my husband, because he's gonna now explain what the process is with the concrete.
Yeah, so this is our mixer. It's from Lowe's. Home Depot has them as well. So usually what I do in between bags is I'll just rinse it out and let the water fall in there, and that's usually enough for a bag of concrete. So I just got some water in here. I'll start it spinning. It's kind of noisy, so I'll do it and then I'll talk to it. So I'll pour in typically a half the bag, make sure that it's not sticking on the bottom. and then once I'm sure of that and it looks still wet enough, then I'll pour in the rest of the bag. If it's too wet, it has a chance of cracking and it doesn't hold its shape when you pull the form up. If it's just the right mixture, then you can put it down, fill it up, pull it off, move over to the next one, and it's really quick.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah, so it takes about 1 bag for every square.
Yep.
For every for this form, so 1 bag of concrete for that.
Yep. Yeah. So when we get the concrete inside of the form, if you notice on the video, I'm able to just lift it up immediately. If you make it too wet, you won't be able to do that, but it's surprising, you know, even when it's a little bit wet, it seems like it holds its form really well. The other thing is, be sure to wear a mask when you're mixing concrete. It has quite a bit of dust that flies up, and if you're not wearing a mask, it's very bad for your lungs. So make sure you're doing that. I'm not wearing a mask because I'm far away from the dust part of it, but make sure you wear a mask. So you can see we still have a lot of bags of concrete. We've gone through a pile probably half the size already for the part that we've done, and I think we're about 1/3 of the way done, because this part, the other part, is a lot wider than that part. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and once I get to where I'm doing a curve, I'm gonna show you how we do that. Okay, so it's the next day. We still have some concrete that we need to pour and make more of the path or the patio. But so far this is where we're at. I think it looks really good. Some of these gaps that you're seeing on the edges, we're going to fill in with individual rocks. we have another area over here that we need to level out better, and in order to do so, we actually have to move the concrete that's under that plastic. And I'm going to just show you another angle of it. It's already set up. I mean, I did actually step on it over there, and but I like to be more cautious and let it sit for a little bit longer. Okay, here's the next step to the paver walkway that we're doing. And what we're using here is called a polymer sand. And let me show you the front of the bag here. We buy this bag. It's a 40-pound bag at Lowe's. Do you remember how much it cost, Rob?
I don't. I think it was like $40.
My husband thinks it's about $40 for the bag. And what you do is you go ahead, and he's using a funnel to get in between the cracks. And you just kind of go in between all the cracks with the sand. And then after you're done getting the sand in between the cracks, you're going to go over it with the garden hose. Do you use a mist or?
Yeah, you just want to get it wet.
You just want to dampen it, and then what happens is it solidifies just like concrete, and it will give you a nice solid surface for your patio. So he's working on that, and he's got a long way to go. Not sure if one bag is going to cover the whole thing, but I'll let you know. What we did is we ended up getting as close to the edge of the wall as we could, and what we ended up doing is kind of piecing the pieces together at the edge here, and then filling in with the gravel that we bought. I still have about 2.5 bags, so I have about a ton and a half left of gravel. So we're kind of using it on the edges just to give it a finished look, and I think it looks really good.